It is not looking good, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. My name is Jake. Welcome back to more esports news. What's not looking good? That being the future of Activision Blizzard. If you guys have been on the channel before, we talk about this news quite frequently, and also most recently brought to us by Richard Lewis. I will link his article down below for all of you guys. Some great insight on the future of Activision Blizzard, and we have not seen a great outcome for them this year. I'll break it down for all of you guys as well as what their future might be, because it is not looking so good. If you guys aren't Overwatch fan or any Activision Blizzard title fans out there, let's be cautious moving forward. If you guys have been with them ever since, of course, probably throughout this year has been one of their worst years. It was actually back in February. They laid off nearly 800 people, over 200 of which belonged to Blizzard alone. And now recent sources also stating a future layoff could be coming sometime soon for a whole slew of big names out there. Not to mention, we talked about 2 weeks ago, Nate Nanzers, the Overwatch League commissioner himself, has also stepped down from Blizzard to join of course, that being the competition, Epic Games, which we'll talk about that more in the future, I am sure, because of course he steps down from Blizzard, he joins Epic Games, and now they're cash cow Fortnite, and their newest acquisition of Rocket League. He will probably run the future of esports for them. I'm still curious what he's going to do for the future over there at Epic Games. But with that being said, now the global director of esports, or I should say the global product manager / director of esports, that being Phan, is one of the many names who could be stepping down from Blizzard next, and who knows where she will go. But even more so, this article breaks down the details as to why more employees could be leaving amidst what is cited as morale issues. And if I said all that too fast, I am known to speak way too fast, and I do apologize, guys. What that does spell, though, is some pretty bad news going forward for Activision Blizzard, especially on Blizzard's side of things. When you lose the Overwatch League, the man who is the face behind the Overwatch League and what became a very successful second season, more so than the first, you see that success. You know, usually people will ride that out. He has now left to join a competitor. Now you have a global director, same in the esports division as well, someone as high up as Phan is, and now she is leaving too amidst these morale issues, and other sources citing some things, well, apparently not liking to work under some people out there. And one very common citation or source, I guess you could say, that's been quoted in Richard's article as well, is of course the cost of senior management and the fact they do not understand what esports are, which does not come as much of a surprise. As the source did say, they just don't understand esports. And I know we've talked about just yesterday, if you guys were here as well, we talked about Josh Hawley, the U.S. Senator from Missouri, who is trying to push for this anti-loot box and anti-pay-to-win bill. He too admits that he wasn't a gamer, and that's the first thing I think about. You have these uppers, these senior managements, these people who probably weren't even around when esports, really came into fruition, really came into popularity, and now they're trying to make decisions which maybe they don't have the exact experience to make, is what I'm kind of dragging on from this. Also, on top of that, other sources in the article did say they were getting apparently tired of working with one particular character, that being Pete Vlastelica. I can't imagine why. But more so, the struggle is with this upper management wanting to commercialize their esports products, wanting to televise their esports products, that being at Blizzard, as well as apparently at Activision as well. But we can probably guess this leans more towards the Overwatch side or other titles as well. They are so focused on commercializing their esports and not actually having in-game developments, positive updates as well, which makes me also question the future of where this layoff does go, where these people will go. I really hope it's not the direction that Nate Nanzers took, because if Nate Nanzers had that same excuse, I'd be laughing in his face right now. Because if there is one developer out there, one high-end developer out there in terms of that does not really know esports, not really focused on esports whatsoever, can you guys name it? It is 100% Epic Games. They have showcased nothing but sheer lack of a want to be an esport out there. If you guys have been around over the past month or so, or I guess you could say over the past year or so, they themselves have actually confirmed last month, the competitive update, they actually clarified. They came out and said this: we will continue to push big meta and big update changes just days before big competitive events. All competitive events besides their New York City World Cup Finals, the biggest event in esports. Everything besides that, though, is free territory. They will keep on having an esports scene, and they will keep on pushing their weekly and also big updates and meta changing updates before, just days before these big competitions. And even worse off, if you guys were here just a couple days ago, they actually, by Epic Games rules, we had 2 cheaters qualify for the World Cup, because Epic Games decided that if you cheated during the World Cup qualifiers, are you permanent banned? No. Are you given a year ban? No. Are you given a month ban? No. You're given a 2-week ban for cheating during World Cup qualifiers, that being teaming, their new competitive rule. And so we had 2 cheaters back a few weeks ago. They have now actually qualified a few weeks later after their ban was up, and they are taking 2 spots in the World Cup finals from legitimate players, which yeah. So amidst all of this, yes, it might spell big trouble for the future of Activision Blizzard, but with that being said, some talented folks are now going to be freeing up their roles and will be probably going elsewhere as well. Phan amongst them. Of course, Nate Nanzers has chosen his spot at Epic Games. So I hope, though, if the real complaint here for Activision Blizzard or the layoff side of things is because upper management does not know esports, I hope a lot of these characters do end up in some talented developers out there, you know, alongside the likes of Valve, and of course you guys can name others as well, but I hope it's not the same direction that Nate Nanzers went, because when it comes to understanding esports, I think Epic Games is the last developer that knows just what those are. And maybe I've voiced my opinion a bit too much there, but still a very interesting story to see the internal struggle of such a huge company out there in esports, and now having to see a lot of these big figures out there actually moving away from Activision Blizzard. It makes you wonder what the actual stipulants are, what the actual details are as to all of these people leaving, besides upper management not knowing what they're doing, besides not wanting to work with Pete, Vlastelica, and others as well. It really makes you wonder the internal struggles in the future of Activision Blizzard and how this might affect that going forward. But until then, I hope you guys all enjoy it. My name is Jake. Super curious what you guys think about this. What are your thoughts on the issue as well? Because it certainly is a big one, and the future of Blizzard as well as Activision Blizzard, well, it's certainly, I guess you could say, a little bit shaky right now. As always, I hope you guys all enjoy. We'll be back here tomorrow, though, breaking down further esports news. And until then, take care.